You've heard it a million times. Set your goals high, and you'll achieve greatness. But the truth is, most people fail to achieve their goals, and it's not because they're lazy or lack ambition. It's because they're trapped in a cycle of unrealistic expectations and bad habits. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal, only to find yourself struggling to make progress, feeling frustrated and disappointed along the way? You're not alone. The majority of people set unrealistic goals, which leads to frustration and disappointment. They set their sights on achieving the impossible, without considering the effort and time it takes to get there. For example, trying to lose 20 pounds in a week might be a great aspiration, but it's not a realistic goal. It's like trying to run a marathon without training. It's just not going to happen. And when it doesn't, people get discouraged and give up. But it's not just about setting unrealistic goals. People often focus on the end result rather than the process, leading to a lack of motivation and momentum. They get caught up in the idea of achieving a certain outcome, without thinking about the steps they need to take to get there. It's like trying to build a house without a plan or a blueprint. You might get some walls up, but the rest of the structure will be lacking. The pressure to achieve goals can be overwhelming, leading to anxiety and burnout. Think about it. When you're under pressure to achieve a certain outcome, you start to feel like you're walking on eggshells. Every decision you make seems to be weighed against the potential consequences of not meeting your goal. And before you know it, you're burned out and ready to give up. So, what's the key to breaking free from this cycle and achieving your goals? It starts with understanding why most people fail in the first place. You see, there's a simple, yet powerful, mindset shift that can help you overcome the goal-setting trap. It's not about setting your goals higher or working harder. It's about changing your approach entirely. Imagine you're trying to hike to the top of a mountain. If you just focus on getting to the top, you might get discouraged when you hit a steep slope or a patch of dense forest. But if you focus on the journey, on the steps you need to take to get to the top, you'll find that the journey becomes the destination. You'll enjoy the scenery, you'll learn new things, and you'll make progress without feeling overwhelmed. It's the same with goal setting. Instead of focusing on the end result, try focusing on the process. What are the steps you need to take to get there? What skills do you need to develop? What resources do you need to gather? When you focus on the process, you'll find that the outcome becomes secondary. You'll be motivated and energized by the journey, rather than feeling like you're just trying to check a box. But it's not just about changing your approach. It's also about being realistic about what you can achieve. Don't set yourself up for failure by trying to do too much, too soon. Break your goals down into smaller, manageable chunks, and focus on making progress one step at a time. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you focus on the journey, rather than the destination. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about when I'm under pressure to achieve a certain outcome? Well, here's the thing. Pressure is not a problem to be solved. It's a signal that you're on the right path. When you're under pressure, it means you're pushing yourself to grow and learn, and that's where the real progress happens. The key is to learn to work with pressure, rather than against it. Take a deep breath, and focus on the process. What are the steps you need to take to achieve your goal? What resources do you need to gather? What skills do you need to develop? When you focus on the process, you'll find that the pressure becomes manageable, and you'll make progress without feeling overwhelmed. So, what's the key to breaking free from the goal-setting trap? It's not about setting your goals higher or working harder. It's about changing your approach entirely. It's about focusing on the process, rather than the outcome. And it's about being realistic about what you can achieve. When you make these mindset shifts, you'll find that achieving your goals becomes a journey, rather than a destination. You'll enjoy the scenery, you'll learn new things, and you'll make progress without feeling overwhelmed. And when you finally reach the top of the mountain, you'll feel a sense of pride and accomplishment that comes from knowing that you've put in the effort to get there. So, what are you waiting for? Let's start the journey, and see where it takes us. Meet Sarah, a successful entrepreneur who achieved her goals through a simple mindset shift. You might be wondering what made her so different from others who struggle to reach their goals. The answer lies in her focus on progress rather than perfection. Sarah's journey began when she realized that her relentless pursuit of perfection was actually holding her back. She was spending more time planning and preparing than taking action, and her progress was stagnating as a result. So, she made a conscious decision to shift her focus from achieving perfection to making progress, no matter how small. This mindset change allowed her to break down her goals into smaller, manageable tasks that she could accomplish on a daily basis. By doing so, Sarah was able to maintain momentum and motivation. She set aside a specific time each day to work on her goals, and she celebrated each small victory along the way. This helped her stay focused and motivated, even when faced with setbacks and failures. And that's exactly where most people go wrong. They get discouraged by setbacks and give up on their goals altogether. But Sarah's mindset allowed her to reframe failure as a learning experience, rather than a setback. She viewed every failure as an opportunity to learn and grow, and she used those lessons to improve her approach and try again. This mindset shift not only helped her achieve her goals but also made her more resilient and adaptable in the face of challenges. So, how can you apply Sarah's mindset to your own goals? By focusing on progress rather than perfection, breaking down your goals into smaller tasks, and reframing failure as a learning experience, you can achieve your goals just like Sarah did. But here's the thing, it's not just about achieving your goals, it's about the journey itself. It's about learning and growing along the way, and using those lessons to improve your approach and try again. What if I told you that you're already 90 of the way to achieving your goals, but you're not recognizing it? Think about it. Most people who achieve their goals don't do it overnight. They do it through a series of small, incremental steps that they take on a daily basis. They focus on making progress rather than achieving perfection, and they celebrate each small victory along the way. By adopting this mindset, you can take the first step towards achieving your goals and start seeing progress in your life. As you begin to shift your mindset and focus on progress rather than perfection, you'll start to notice a change in your behavior and attitude. You'll become more resilient and adaptable in the face of challenges, and you'll be more likely to take action and make progress towards your goals. And that's exactly what Sarah did. She took the first step towards changing her mindset, and she achieved her goals as a result. Now, it's your turn. What are you waiting for? Most people think they need to make drastic changes to achieve their goals, but the truth is, they're already 90 of the way there. They just need to focus on the tiny gaps that separate them from success. Think of it like a puzzle. You've got most of the pieces in place, but you're missing just a few crucial ones to complete the picture. Sarah, the entrepreneur we met in the previous section, applied the 90 solution to her business. She recognized that she had a solid foundation, but was struggling with a few key areas. By focusing on those missing pieces, she was able to make small, incremental changes that added up to big results. For Sarah, it was about embracing her strengths and building on them, rather than trying to change everything at once. The 90 solution is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent and persistent. It's about recognizing that nobody is 100% perfect, and that's okay. In fact, trying to be perfect can be a major obstacle to success. Think about it. How many people have you known who were so focused on being perfect that they never took action at all? The 90 solution is about taking small steps towards your goals, rather than waiting for the perfect moment to strike. By focusing on the 10 that's missing, you can make progress towards your goals without feeling overwhelmed. It's like taking a small step towards a big mountain. You can't climb the whole mountain in one go, but you can make progress one step at a time. And that's where the magic happens. So, what's the next step in achieving your goals? It's simpler than you think. Start by identifying the small gaps that separate you from success. What's the one thing you need to change to make progress towards your goals? What's the one habit you need to break to achieve your dreams? Focus on those tiny gaps, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you can make progress. The 90 solution is not a quick fix. It's a long-term strategy for achieving your goals. It's about building on your strengths, embracing imperfection, and taking small steps towards success. And that's a journey that anyone can take. She stared at her blank calendar, the weight of her unfulfilled dreams pressing down on her. Emma had always been someone who set big goals, but she'd never been one to follow through. Last year, she'd promised herself she'd start a business, but as the months went by, her plans had collected dust. The same pattern played out in her relationships, her health, and her career. She started with the best of intentions, but somehow, she never made it past the starting line. As she looked around her cluttered room, Emma realized that she wasn't alone in her struggle. She'd seen friends and family members stuck in the same rut, their dreams collecting dust on the shelves of their minds. It was as if they were waiting for the perfect moment to start, the perfect plan to execute, or the perfect amount of motivation to propel them forward. But the truth was, perfection was a myth, and the only way to make progress was to take imperfect action. And yet, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that there was something holding her back, something that kept her from crossing the finish line. As she pondered her own stagnation, Emma stumbled upon an old journal entry from her childhood. In it, She'd written about a conversation she'd had with her grandfather, a man who'd achieved incredible things despite facing seemingly insurmountable obstacles. He'd told her that the secret to success wasn't to be perfect, but to be persistent. To take one small step forward, even when it felt like the world was moving in the opposite direction. And as Emma read those words, something inside of her shifted. She realized that she'd been waiting for the perfect moment to start, but what if the perfect moment was right now?